Charlie, it's great to see you. Thanks so much for really getting the time to spend together. So I'd like to talk to you about all the things you're doing. So maybe starting there, because you've got a broad portfolio and a big vision. Maybe give us a sense of what your vision is for security, why you took this role, and what you're trying to change, in terms of the landscape of how security will play out.
I started thinking about what are the big problems in the world, and the one that hit me was the security problem. It's huge and growing, and the more I thought about it, the more I realized first of all, it was going to be solved by the community. It's a community problem. When we think about the bad actors, the advantage we have is there's more of us and we have more data than they do. But we talk a lot about asymmetry of the attacker. The problem is they get to come at any point and concentrate, and they get to explore without us necessarily knowing, and then they come in and we have to react. And so I thought, wow, there's this great opportunity for kind of thinking end to end about the problem. So there's a lot of advantage in the cloud, a lot of things we can do to bring things together. We have to recognize that people are still largely on premise and they have their own stuff that they have to protect. It's a hybrid world. The other thing I observed, it's going to be a multi-cloud world. So, customers are going to make choices. They're going to choose different things. And so I thought long and hard about, if I was going to make an impact in this area, where would that likely happen? And what hit me was Microsoft, because Microsoft has a long history, first of all, of being able to lead a community. It's really exciting. There's a lot we can do to change the asymmetry of the attacker. We're in a world of AI and data is a huge part of it. We can understand what we have and do a better job of protecting it. And because we can finally apply technology to looking across everything we have and taking action through AI, I think we're going to be able to turn the corner on this thing.
That's great. Good segue to data security. And our world of data security is very much driven by the fear and concern about ransomware. There's 20 ransomware attacks or attempts every second. That's a lot. Not all of them are successful, but many organizations I talk to, CEOs, CIOs, CISOs, and even their boards and audit committees are kind of worried about a black swan event where they get attacked and they have to recover. And sometimes because it's so pervasive or they don't have a recovery plan. So this is a major threat, often nation state actors. What's your perspective on how we better fight this? Some of this we're obviously doing together on the ransomware threat.
There's a commercialization of this that we should be very worried about, and also nation states. Certain nation states use this as a revenue generator for them. So the problem is large and well organized. We see it. We see the pain with customers because we do incident response. So in addition to all of the things Microsoft does to build security into the products and provide security products, we also help customers when they have problems. And in the incident responses, over and over, we see these terribly heart-wrenching stories. A company isn't ready. They have a ransomware event, and suddenly they're facing, oh my gosh, I am shut down, and I either have to pay the ransom. I don't even know. Some of these actors aren't even honoring the payment. They get the payment and they, do something else. And extortion is part of the game. And it's just heartrending to see what they go through in this space. So there's a lot we're going to have to do, I think, as providers and for our customers. There's a lot they need to do to get ready for this.
What advice do you have to partners like us, how we can best get the breadth of your portfolio? Because it's going to take a village for us to win, right? It's not going to be just one company that's able to do all in security.
Absolutely. Customers have to have backups. This is the thing we see over and over in these incidents, is the customer, because they didn't have a place that they put their data that was separate from what the ransomware actor had access to, they have no way to recover. And when you have no way to recover, there's no guarantee that even payment will get them out of it. And so that kind of the data security and posture, being able to know your situation. Where is your data? Where is it being accessed? Can it be accessed? And understanding that you have it covered, you have it backed up. That part of the relationship, Sanjay, is so important.
Because there's an AI element that applies to you folks in security, but there's also an AI element that's never been done to second-rated by backups, is that we will be the first to do, and we couldn't be more honored to be doing this with your tech. So maybe your vision, a little bit of AI, because so much of what you're doing in security is AI related. and a good part of what you were announcing this past week. What are some of the ways in which AI will help what you're doing in security?
Well, what you just outlined, it shows the potential, like, because we can now, AI is now smart enough. It's not generally intelligent, it's not human. And by the way, that's why we call it a co-pilot. One of the key things here is it's not going to replace the humans in this thing. It's just going to make them incredibly powerful. But we can now make them powerful in the system space. It's going to be a great accelerator for business productivity, for, the tasks we do every day. But it's going to be able to extend into the system space, enable humans to deal with things they could never deal with before. There's so much complexity down there. Having dealt with cloud for a very long time, I understand, like, the surface area in the systems world, in data, in how you manage it, in the systems that operate on it, is so complex that having an AI trained on backups on the environment that's underneath. And the thing about AI that's fascinating, these large models, you can see across a tremendous amount of data. We generate, I think it's now 65 trillion signals a day. I don't know if you heard that stat
At the launch.
I mean,
incredible.
That's a huge amount of data coming in. And historically, the ability to deal with that and to make it useful, it hasn't been there. But with AI, we get to do that. And again, that's going to change the asymmetry problem, because we have more data. They get to see the surface. We have all of it.